A herringbone pattern floor makes a room look extra classy. But installing one isn't always as easy. We accept the challenge in this room.
Is there still an old floor? Then you can remove it. Break out the floor and take it to the waste recycling, or maybe you can make someone else happy with it. You can remove the old laminate by hand, but make sure to wear sturdy gloves. If you have a solid floor, such as a tiled floor, you can lay your new vinyl directly on it. Clean the undercoat as well, you won't need it anymore. Then clean everything. Scratch away all dirt and irregularities with a filling knife. Don't leave anything on the floor, because you won't be able to get it out from under your floor. Use a brush to sweep most of it, but afterwards you'll have to vacuum the whole room again.
Before you start installing the vinyl planks, it is important that the subfloor is perfectly clean, and you have to check if the subfloor is level.
Also, check if the floor is sufficiently flat. You can use a long level. If this isn't the case, you'll have to level it first. A maximum clearance of 5 mm over 3 meters is acceptable. Make a rough estimate of the space by measuring the surface. Now you know how many planks of the parquet vinyl you need to order. Take an extra 10 to 20%. By using the herringbone pattern, you'll have some leftovers from your planks. Before you start, put the packages in the room. It's better if they are in the room for 12 hours beforehand, so they can acclimatize to the temperature in the room.
You can use a long rule or a long water level to do so. Vinyl planks you use to form a herringbone pattern come in 2 types per box: left ones and right ones. Make sure you don't mix them. If for some reason they get mixed up, you can recognize them as they are marked at the back side.
When you start installing a herringbone pattern floor, you have to concentrate. Also, read the installation instructions carefully so that you can get off to a good start. Normally, you would start laying a few strips entirely and then fit the rest. Here, you start by placing triangles against the wall, which form the basis of the herringbone pattern. Later, the remaining planks are put against these. The first thing to do is to build the necessary triangles by cutting 3 left planks and 2 right planks to size with the help of a mold. In order to get that done, you have to keep the left and right floorboards separated. Put the first left plank on the mold. If you then cut figure L1 with a utility knife, you'll obtain the top corner of the triangle to be made. Cut out along a straight side, like your square. Then you can easily break off the corner by putting some pressure on it. Then repeat for the next figure. Add a new strip and cut out L2. And with another new plank, you'll eventually form L3. Then start taking the floorboards from the right package. Now you only have to cut out figures R1 and R2. All floor elements are ready to make such a first triangle. Make the triangle by first placing the first left plank, then the first right plank, then alternate left and right again until your triangle is complete. They click into each other very easily. You'll need several such basic triangles to cover the entire length of the wall. So immediately make some in series. As soon as all parts are ready, it is necessary to determine the center of the room. Let's see how you approach this.
I've placed my laser in the middle of the room. If you don't own a laser, you can also draw a line in the middle of the room with a marker, or you can use a chalk line. That laser line, or the line with the marker, is the reference point for the tip of the first triangle. I leave the laser in place as a reference point for my other pieces.
If you have used a laser to establish your reference line, make sure you don't touch it again. Then insert the triangles. The first one comes in the middle of your heart line. Place the rest of the triangles next to it, against the wall and with the corners against each other. The piece that will be in the corner of the room still needs to be made to fit. Measure the distance between the wall and the penultimate piece, taking into account your expansion joint. Mark it with a shop hook and cut it to length. You can remove the pieces and break them along the cutting line. Then you make one piece out of all the shortened parts. Once the corner piece has been made to fit, you can lay out the first row entirely. However, use wedge spacers to keep the same expansion joint of 8 mm everywhere. Meanwhile, the opposite corner of the room has also been laid in, and you can now continue installing the floor. Use a right and a left plank each time, and switch. As you have already noticed, you can lay this floor directly on the existing floor, as the subfloor is already attached to the floor strip. On the ground floor, it is best to place a damp screen, especially on new screed. Every time you reach the wall, you have to make the corner of the floorboard to fit. First, measure the length of the strip. Then use an adjustable square to determine the angle. Fix the adjustable square and transfer it to the new floorboard. Cut in using the utility knife and then break off the superfluous part. Always put the long side of the plank in the seam first. Only afterwards can you put the short side in. The planks click together smoothly, but to close the seam completely, hit it again with a rubber hammer and a stroke block. Doing so, the planks will fit perfectly. If the seam is not completely closed in this system, the error will quickly spread so that you can no longer connect the next boards correctly. So pay enough attention to it. Once you get off to a good start, this job is pretty smooth, especially if you can work with two. You can both lay planks on one side and work all the way to the middle. In the corners, it always comes down to the same thing. Determine the angle with the adjustable square Slide the adjustable square to the right length on the plank. Cut it. Break it off again and click it into the previous plank. Sometimes you come across an obstacle which forces you to make a notch, like in this case, to fit the parquet vinyl against this supporting beam. Keep enough space, which makes it easier to fit in, and it is also necessary for the expansion joint. Once the hurdle has been taken, you can easily continue.
When you immediately put the left and the right vinyl planks in the right position, you will always have the right plank in hand, and you will be able to work faster.
By the way, this floor is not only suitable for the bedroom, but it will also be used in the bathroom later on. There is no wood core in this parquet vinyl, which makes it suitable for damp rooms, as the floor will not swell when it comes into contact with water. Keep tapping to close the seams with a stroke block. What you've seen now, that's all there is to it. Of course, it might require a bit more patience, but with a good preparation and an extra pair of hands, this job is also perfect for the do-it-yourselfer. The end result will pay off.
A herringbone pattern involves a lot of sawing. Actually, cutting is a better word. You can cut the vinyl planks to size fairly simply and break them, so you won't lose any time running back and forth to your sawing machine, and naturally there's no dust.
As soon as the last pieces of parquet vinyl have been installed, the wedge spacers may be removed. This provides room for the expansion joint. Afterwards, skirting plinths have to be installed. These cover the expansion joint between the floor and the wall. Saw the skirting boards in mitre and glue them to the wall with polymer glue. It adheres both to the wall and to the skirting plinths. You can finish the seams of the skirting plinths with acrylic sealant.
The herringbone pattern floor has been installed completely, and it went faster than expected as we used click vinyl planks. If you want to watch this episode again, that is possible on our website, dobbit.be. On our website you can also subscribe to our online magazine. I'm looking forward to seeing you back for my next task. Till next time.